Have you ever seen your cat hobble toward you on three legs, meowing like they just lost a street fight, only to see them sprinting after a mock 2 minutes later like nothing ever happened? If this sounds familiar, you're not going crazy, and you are definitely not alone. I'm a feline behaviorist, and after 25 years working with cats in clinics, rescues, and thousands of American homes, I've seen this miracle recovery act so many times I could set my watch by it. And now, brand new science from 2025 is finally confirming what many of us have suspected all along. Cats absolutely fake injuries for attention. They learn fast, they perform like seasoned actors, and they know exactly when you're watching. Let's walk through the classic scenario that so many cat owners describe to me. It's morning, maybe around breakfast time. Your cat starts dragging a back leg or holds up a front paw as if it has completely shattered. They stare right at you with those huge, tragic saucer-like eyes. Of course, you freeze. Your heart drops. You rush over, scoop them up gently, and start checking for any swelling or cuts. Oh, poor baby, you coo, and they just lean into it, soaking up the sympathy. You might offer them a special treat or some extra cuddles to make them feel better. And then, like magic, the limp is gone. They leap onto the kitchen counter, tail held high, ready for their meal. Later that evening, the phone rings or guests arrive, and suddenly the paw drama returns. It continues until you're focused on them again and only them. I once had a client who caught her cat on video limping dramatically to the fridge every single morning, only to vault onto the cabinets with perfect agility the second a snack was delivered. A full vet exam confirmed the cat was perfectly healthy. It was pure performance art. This isn't just a funny quirk. The research now spells it out clearly. Behavioral studies from 2025 are calling this phenomenon operant conditioning deception. In simple terms, cats learn to connect the action of acting hurt with a reward. That reward is your immediate concern, your soft voice, physical contact, and often food. Researchers analyzed hundreds of hours of home videos and found a distinct pattern. Cats with so-called intermittent lameness would show a limp that completely vanished when they thought they were unobserved. The performance would ramp up precisely during what we call low-attention windows, like when you were on a work call, cooking dinner, or talking with your family. On the other hand, cats with real injuries showed consistent lameness, regardless of who was watching them. But here's the key giveaway from the study. Cats whose owners reacted the most emotionally rushing over, using baby talk and handing out treats, were the ones who developed the most polished and convincing performances. Our concern literally trained them to be better actors. So why do they even bother with these elaborate schemes? It comes down to simple math. For a domestic cat, your attention is one of the most valuable resources they have. They quickly figure out what pushes our buttons, and distress signals are incredibly effective. A display of vulnerability triggers our deep-seated protective instincts, demanding our instant and exclusive focus. When they add sympathetic meowing for urgency and widen their eyes for maximum sympathy, they figured out how to get the biggest possible payoff for the least amount of effort. I've even seen this behavior in street cats I've worked to rehabilitate. They would use a limp to get better access to food from well-meaning people. But if you ignored the limp and offered a toy instead, the act would often be dropped overnight. I remember one particularly crafty Siamese cat who would limp every time he entered an exam room at the clinic. But on the kennel cameras, when he was alone, he trotted around perfectly fine. He didn't need pain medication. We just needed to break the cycle of rewarding his performance. This brings us to a crucial point. How can you tell the difference between a faker and a cat who is genuinely hurt? The research gives us some clear patterns to look for. A cat with a true injury will almost always limp on the same leg. consistently no matter where they are or who is around. You might also notice actual physical signs like swelling, heat, or a wound. They'll likely avoid jumping on things altogether, and you might see changes in their appetite or litter box habits. Fakers, on the other hand, are much less consistent. They might switch which leg is injured from one day to the next. You'll catch them having unobserved moments of high energy, like the zoomies. Their recovery is often instant, happening the second they get the reward they were after. And most importantly, there are no physical signs of injury. The best way to be sure is to become a bit of a detective. Try to film your cat discreetly when they don't know you're watching, then replay their solo moments. If their full mobility returns like magic, well, case closed. It's also worth noting that sometimes a cat might have a real but very minor strain that they then exaggerate for extra sympathy. In those cases, if you ignore the theatrics while still addressing the root issue, both problems tend to resolve. This behavior really reveals just how scary smart our cats are. They don't just stumble into this pattern by luck. They actively observe our reactions. They remember which behaviors get them what they want. They time their performances for maximum impact, and they can maintain a surprisingly convincing facade. Cognitive studies show that cats excel at social manipulation, especially in a domestic environment where their physical world is smaller and their social world with us is everything. They learn that we perceive pain as an urgent problem, and they exploit that understanding ruthlessly. It's not that they're mean-spirited. It's just an efficient strategy for navigating life in a human home. So when should you worry? In most cases, you don't need to. A cat with a healthy appetite, normal grooming habits, and plenty of playful energy who just happens to do an occasional limp is almost certainly making a bid for attention. However, if the behavior suddenly escalates, or if it's accompanied by other signs like hiding, a drop in appetite, or avoiding social interaction, it's time for a vet visit. It's important to rule out hidden issues like arthritis or even dental pain, which can sometimes cause changes in their gait. The good news is that these little performers respond beautifully to a few simple behavioral tweaks. The fix starts with you remaining neutral. The next time the show begins, don't gasp, don't rush over, and definitely don't offer a treat on cue. Just say their name in a calm, normal tone and then walk away. Instead, try to be proactive. Schedule some dedicated attention time, just 5 minutes of focused petting or playing before their usual showtime can often eliminate their need to perform. You can also start rewarding alternative behaviors you want to see, like when they're sitting quietly or giving you a slow blink. Puzzle feeders and window perches are also fantastic tools to combat the boredom that often fuels these attention-seeking behaviors. Most cats will quit the act within a week once they realize it is no longer getting them the reaction they want. I worked with one family who stopped rewarding a stray cat's limp, and it was gone the very next morning. The truth is, our cats are masters at reading us. They study us, they adapt, and they communicate in ways that are ruthlessly effective. So the next time your cat puts on their Oscar-worthy performance, stay neutral and watch the show get canceled. You'll end up with a much cleaner and more honest connection with your furry friend, and that's the real win. Have you caught your cat faking a limp lately? Let us know in the comments by typing "busted." Like this video so others can learn how to spot it too. And subscribe for more science-backed cat psychology that every owner needs to know. Thanks for watching.